Hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. This should be the correct mic. But yes, as Vulture just said in the chat, I am finally back. I don't know for how long, because this is like one of the few times that I've been able to sit down and think, oh yeah, I could stream right now. My son is away right now at daycare, and he's been recovering from some sort of cold or infection or something, so it's been a lot, and I am needing a time to just sit back, relax, and chat with some people. So we are in a new park. I'll hopefully sometime soon be making a new video about this, but Cedar Lake is unfortunately being retired. I've been working on that zoo for like 3 years, and I can never get it right, and I keep demolishing stuff and rebuilding it, and it just doesn't speak to me anymore. And so I'm starting over and leaning into what I really, really love, and that's like safari theming. I am planning a trip in just over a month and a half to San Diego for the first time, and I'm really excited about that and thinking that will be a huge inspiration for this. But after going to Animal Kingdom in October and some other things recently, I've just been really inspired to do something like this. So let's get into explore mode right now. This is your opening plaza. This will be like a ticket booth over here. It's not quite done. And I've got some ticket machines over here if you want to go past that. Got the classic Jack Hawthorne statue here. And then you come in, and kind of like at Disney, we've got little places that you can scan your tickets here and move in. So much like the San Diego Safari Park, got some lockers and rentals for strollers over here, and the beginnings of a gift shop. And over here you can get your map. There's a safari truck, food truck, and this will get going into the actual park. But that's pretty much what I've built so far. What I'm hoping to do today is get started on the actual safari side of things. So today I've taken the taxidermy mod and kind of put out some different groups that I think I'm gonna house together out here on the savannas. And part of what we're doing today is we're going to figure out how we want this to flow. Get things started with how the safari is actually gonna work. But as some people come in, we can start chatting a little bit while I do this, and if you guys have ideas, I am willing to hear them, because this is a very early park video. I haven't even recorded anything to share this yet. Just wanted to stream today, and this is what I've been doing a lot recently. Aside from some collabs, I don't know if you guys saw the Paleo Zoo that Leaf posted a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. I was one of the main guys on that project. We've got another zoo coming up that we're finishing up, and Leaf is starting the video. I'm sorry, Vulture. I hope that whatever is not okay is better. But Paleo Zoo was fun. We're working on that Congo Zoo, and we actually have started on another zoo after that. But after that one, I think we're all kind of ready to get back to our own projects. And then I realized I don't really want to work on my own projects, which is wrong. Like, Planet Zoo is something that I love to do. It's one of my favorite hobbies. And to just not be interested in what I consider to be my dream park was not really acceptable to me. So I really wanted to kind of work things out and I guess find a new dream a little bit, which I think this has a big chance of being that dream park. So I imagine how it's gonna go is we're gonna need an area down here with some like loading queues for trucks and stuff like that. For the various different kinds of safaris we might offer here. Something doesn't feel right. Hold on. What do I have? I feel like I had... Okay, yeah, this is what I had as a start for a Kilimanjaro safari kind of recreation thing. So maybe we'll put that... I'm sorry, like a lot of elements of Cedar Lake are actually going to come back into this. I know that much. I know that the Andes area that I was working on will be coming back in some capacity. This will not be only African animals. I want to make this very clear. So over here, I've got some of the Asian species planned for the Asian savanna. And then in the park itself, I don't know if you saw up here, but we're going to have Australian animals, Asian animals, South American animals, and more. I'm not really committing to anything quite yet because this is really early on again. So I don't want to promise anything. I think that's kind of something I made a mistake with last time. I made a lot of claims of what I was going to do, and then people were disappointed that I didn't do them. And that did not feel good. So some parts of Cedar Lake could end up on the workshop. I guess it's possible. But one thing you have to know for that is it's riddled with mods. Like, it is absolutely insane how much modded material I have in that zoo, and that's something that I want to change with this. Is I want to have much less modded stuff, if any. Like, I might just make it only modded in terms of animals, so that you guys can see into this. There will be some lore for this park. This is gonna take over quite a bit of the lore. Again, if you have ideas for stuff, you can always post them, but I can't guarantee that I'm gonna take and accept every idea, because again, this is like my dream park, so I really want to just lean into what speaks to me and what inspires me. But if you guys have ideas, feel free to share them. So there will be lore. Jack Hawthorne is at the heart of this, my original character for my zoos. He's always been something that's really inspired the way I make my parks. I am also going to be very relaxed about species choices. So like, there might not be good explanations for why we have some stuff, but I'm really interested in pushing the boundary of what I would typically have in a zoo, just because I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun to, like, I know, for example, I might do a waterfall. We'll see. I don't know anything about how the guests are going to view this stuff yet. But what was I saying? Oh, I know Monsoon is working on an injury right now, which is a type of lemur if you don't know what it is. And it is a fascinating creature that has only been held for like maybe at most a month in captivity without it dying. But I really want to have that in my park. So let's see. Actually, we might bring the queue up here. Give me 1 second. All right, just had to deal with something IRL. Let's see. I think I am gonna have the Margarita Phil stuff come back, especially if that new pack does come with the American Flamingo. I am doing pretty well. It's been a long week. Actually, it's been a bad week. So that's all the more reason I'm excited to be here right now and spend an hour or two building with y'all, because it's been tough. I am in my final months of graduate school, so I'm graduating in mid-May. And school's tough. Like I said, my 1-year-old's been sick, and he's also 1 year old. So that happened in January, and he's a lot. I love him to death. He's crazy. He's getting into all sorts of stuff. One of the best things is he's actually like paying attention to stuff at the zoo now. We go all the time, and he's finally like interested in the things that he can see. I know that like when he calls his grandparents, he gets really excited to see their cat now, which is like, yes, any way that I can get you to enjoy animals at this stage, I'm excited for. Okay, so here's Nick Lion Rider's Kilimanjaro Safari truck. It'll pull up around here. But yeah, we've just started scheduling our San Diego trip, and I'm super excited. Recently on my life list, I crossed 1,500 species that I've seen in the wild. Well, not in the wild, but at zoos and in the wild. We just got back from a trip to Georgia, and I saw a bunch of really cool wild birds out in the marsh. And I was like within 10 feet of a wild alligator at one point. It was crazy. I really enjoyed that. But let's see. Hello, DC Superman fan. But yeah, I am thinking about bringing Margaritaville back. It is still lore that Jimmy Buffett and Jack Hawthorne are friends. Or were. Rest in peace, Jimmy. You were a real one. Hello, Alex. I hope that's how you pronounce your name, but I imagine it is. How are you today? So with the safari, my main thing is I want it to feel like a cross between Kilimanjaro at Disney and the safari park in San Diego. I don't want it to feel just like either of them. I'm really hoping, yes, Jack does still have connections to the mob. Okay, I feel like maybe we'll talk about lore today a little bit. But really quick, I will say my thought process is I want this to be a little bit more manicured than the safari park. I want it to have a little bit more of a wild feel to it, but at the same time, I want it to be more wide and spacious than Disney. So those two things in mind, I think, are really going to drive how this ends up looking. I'm doing okay. Like I said earlier, before you got here, it's been a rough week, and so I'm excited to just hang out. So, lore. Jack Hawthorne comes from a family that's been in the zoo business for a very long time. His great-great-grandfathers, I can honestly pull up the freaking I have a lore document that I don't know if I've shown off before. And I don't know if I want to because I think there might be personal stuff on there. Basically, oh, this might be old. I think there were twins. I promise that I'll build. I want to get to this. Okay. Jack Hawthorne's great-grandfather was an immigrant to America from England, I believe. Their father owned some zoo in England at that point. They came over in the early 1900s. They started a zoo in Chicago, and so the mob would sometimes bring bodies at night to the zoo and feed them to the lions. They would break into the zoo and do that. And one night, one of the ancestors of Jack Hawthorne, or one of his family members, saw them doing this, and basically they kidnapped him, I think I wrote, and then cut a deal with him that if they let him continue doing that, they would actually support the zoo financially. And so over time, this basically leads to them being able to get some rare animals smuggled into the country. By the time that like Jack Hawthorne and his family are around in the modern day, it's they don't have any ties to that, but that's how they made some of their fortune and started their like philanthropic wildlife research institute. So kind of some unsavory beginnings that eventually turned out just fine. But yeah, the music is just a bit too loud. Good to know. Thank you. I'll cut that down a little bit. But yeah, let's see. Jack Hawthorne has 6 kids and a number of grandchildren. One of his grandchildren is like 12, but really loves reptiles, and so he lets her sometimes be in charge of picking out reptiles for his parks. Jack Hawthorne owns multiple different zoos around the country, and kind of has it like he works with stuff like AZA equivalents, but he doesn't always find himself as part of those, just because he likes to have a little bit of freedom. And then also another thing, he had a TV show, kind of like Steve Irwin, like in the 80s or 90s. I think it was the 90s, that got him some popularity too. Those are some major strokes of things that you might not have, that I might not have revealed before. see. Here you are. Welcome. Welcome. Maybe a king fern. This is going to be a little tropical for what I was thinking at first, but I think it's a nice transition onto the savannas. I don't really want to put a firm location on this. What I'm acting as if it is right now is somewhere Texas-ish. But I don't want to lock that down. And a thing that I did with Cedar Lake that kind of shot me in the foot over time was I locked stuff in, or it's just like, this is how it is. And I want this to be a little bit more free to change and explore over time. But somewhere more, somewhere less temperate than Indiana. That was another thing that kind of kept me from doing my vision with Cedar Lake, is that far north widely limits what kinds of animals you can have outside and how much you can have outside. And I like doing interiors from time to time, but it's not always my favorite. And I think that's a valid thing to feel. So just kind of going off of that, I wanted to move somewhere further south, maybe further west. So we're gonna mark out that, let's see, this area. But yeah, I'm hoping to get some weird picks in this zoo for animals. Like I said, injury. I'm probably gonna do Saiga on the Asian steppe. I want to do platypus. I'm gonna try to build realistically, even if it's not a realistic zoo. If that makes any sense. I am totally team monkey. I think that is, hey Eben, welcome. I think it's a Saki monkey. And I guess controversial opinion? I've heard a lot of people are not happy with the Saki monkey. My controversial opinion is that I like that it's a Saki quite a lot. I'm pretty close with Nick Lionrider, and he thinks that it's kind of a mistake just to add one South American monkey. I have no opinion on that. Like, I'd love to have a spider monkey. Everybody's like, oh, I wish I had a howler. If I wanted a monkey, I'd want a howler or a tamarin. And it's like, I'd want a spider monkey. That's just me. I think that spider monkeys are more interesting and can work on their own better. I need to get the Fever Tree remaster again. Right? It took me a long time to get to that line of thinking. And I think as much as I loved my time in ZSU, that was kind of part of the problem, is with ZSU, it was just like, you can't have that, that's unrealistic. To the point where when I got elephants, it was like, oh, so I won? Like, because I can't get anything crazier than that. But again, ZSU's cool. And if you're interested in getting started in storytelling, I think that's a good place to go. But it's not for everybody. And that's okay. But yeah, I think platypus is cool. stuff like quokka. Like, as soon as they started adding quokka and proboscis monkey and things like that, it's just like, why wouldn't I, you know? ZSU is Zoo Sims United. It's a Discord server that I don't know if they're still going as strong as they used to, but it used to be more popular, I think, where you basically grow your zoo over time and you can trade with other players in real time. And it's really cool. It gets you thinking more lore, like it gives you sometimes animals that it's like, oh, this animal that you just got was a rescue, and that's cool. But I kind of grew out of it, and I think that's okay. Right, yeah. And from what I know, I don't know like too much, but even like you've been around since the ZT2 days, so like I imagine you've had a lot more practice doing story-driven zoos. And I think that for me, that's the big thing. Is ZSU is good practice. It makes you think of like, okay, if I want a zoo that has history to it, what kind of animals would I start off with it? What kind of and like it pushed me to make weird sections. Like there'd be times where I mixed animals that I would have never put in a section together. It just got me creating creatively, which again is one of the reasons I think it was so good for me at the time. And honestly, having stuff like they did where like you'd have auctions that were in real time that you'd play at the same time as other people, and that was crazy. Like I loved doing that, but at a certain point I also just didn't have time for it anymore, especially like having a kid, which means that I play Planet Zoo mostly at night now, which is kind of nice, but makes it more like I do want to use this to relax rather than just go crazy. All right, so come to the queue, you get on your truck, drive down. I think I will want something kind of simple over here exhibit wise. Some of the zoos Jack owns I haven't built, or I've built like a third of them or something, but he kind of does like HGTV type stuff, like house flipping, but for zoos, where sometimes if there's like a very bad roadside zoo, he will purchase it and then kind of do it up so that it can be a reasonable enough zoo for a local area, get them on the right track, stop the bad husbandry, etc. and so on. I think the best thing to make a lore-based zoo is to know all the rules about what good zoo design is, good history, break the rules on purpose. Exactly. That is a huge thing. And I love learning more about zoo history, and just learning like why there aren't certain animals in zoos. Like I mentioned, probably doing injury later. Injury are very complex. San Diego had injury at some point in their history for about a week, and then they died. And I think the reason is highly because of their diet. I read somewhere that injury like actually eat dirt, which is nuts to think about. But because of that, you have to have very specific soil, and it just, there's a reason why they're not in zoos. But this is a video game, which means I could do whatever I want. What do we think? Would this be a good place for flamingos? Like, trying to think if there's anything else that would be a nice kind of starter thing. It's got to be something. Got to be something that will be fine with trucks going past them all day long, because this is the start. Let's take a look at what I've got over here. I was thinking flamingos, yeah. I probably look like a crazy person just with all these lined up animals out here. I feel like meerkats would be too little. Other than flamingos, I think our options could be, I could do some sort of, like, I could do Nile crocs right here. That could be interesting. I'm using alligator because I don't think I've got the Nile installed. Monkey Island could work, but I think it'd have to be a pretty big monkey. I think warthog could be possible. This is the #1 reason why I have the taxidermy mod. Complete honesty is I just like to place down my animals to look at them before I start building. So we'll say lesser flamingo as an option. Yeah, so I think that that's kind of the idea, is either something big or something with a lot of animals. So like we're talking 30 flamingos at minimum. But like also, since it's the very first, you don't want to kind of like blow it all right away. So like I don't want to put giraffes here. I don't think I even want to put a rhino here. Hyena could be interesting, but they're not super visually interesting in terms of like they don't move around a ton. I think it's flamingos, honestly. So ooh, I think I have an idea. Pelican is a good idea. All right. Okay, so basically, just to give you guys an idea, the zoo entrance is over here. There is going to be a lot of walking zoo. I am planning on having some elephants out here, but having a main elephant exhibit over here. So I might actually go ahead and say that the exhibits for the elephants are interconnected and they're right around here. So you'll end with them.
You don't have the permits for that. I'm from the Elephant Union. Alright, I'm done. I love you.
That was my wife, if you could hear her. She is being silly. So I think we'll have elephants here so that they can kind of go up with the walking path. I will have a separate giraffe enclosure. See you later.
Bye.
Final 2 spots. What do you think will be the final 2 spots in the upcoming DLC? What do I think or what do I want is the question. I don't think I can say with confidence what I think it'll be, because I think all bets are off these days. Because they'll do something like Quokka, and everybody will be like, what? Or they'll do something like Kirk's Dick Dick, when it's just like that. It doesn't not fit, but it's just like, oh, I didn't think about that being what they put with all this stuff. Or the African leopard being the anniversary animal. So I think, personally, I would really like if it was American black bear as one of them. I think it would be really great for us to have every single species of bear in some capacity in Planet Zoo, because we're one away. Waterfall Africa. Let's do Waterfall South Africa for seeking stuff out. Looks like they've got a lot of sheer cliffs, which isn't really what I want. Will this zoo have African leopards? That's a good question. Usually I'm very anti-African leopard just because it's like they're not in captivity. But again, this is a different thing. Yeah, I know you've been really pulling for Kawadi even. I'm kind of Kawadi neutral. And I don't know why. I'm gonna be honest. I've historically been on record of saying I don't love South American animals. Kawadi neutral is not a thing. I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? I will say this. I'm more for Kawadi than I am for Ocelot. I think we've got enough cats. Let's pull this down. I have beef. I have beef with the water in this game. You won't complain if it's Ocelot and Kawadi, but you will complain if it is no Kawadi. I see. Yeah. I really hope that the desert pieces are cool. More than anything, I hope we get new rocks. And I'm going to put on my clown makeup because I know we're not going to get new rocks. And that makes me so sad. Something in the picture looked like it would be new rocks, but I'm not sure. Okay, Flamingo Safari. I need to take a look at what they've got for Kilimanjaro again. It's really just an island, isn't it? I can work with that. That stinks. If there's like one... Oh, the hidden Mickey Island. I don't have any sort of iconography like that for this. If I were to have anything rock-wise from mods... Well, if I were to keep any mod and make it base game, it's the fact that they took out the stuff from the exhibits and made them just usable pieces. That's one of my favorite modded items that we've ever had. Oh, that sucks. Cool. Oh, what am I doing? I should show you guys this as well. I've been working on this for somewhere in the safari park. Reinvigorating the Dragon's Den from Cedar Lake. I'm really happy with how this is turning out so far. And trying to implement some of the pink sand beaches from the actual island of Komodo. So I like how this is going so far, but I got kind of stuck and decided to move on to something else. Okay. Frontier as a company just baffles me. Like, why haven't I been given early access yet? No, I know why. It's because I'm not popular enough. And also I haven't made a video since October. Yee. Yeah, they just choose not to do things that it's like, why wouldn't you? This is so easy. I think I'm gonna make the truck go a little further this way and add a bit more of a buffer because I don't want stressed out flamingos. We'll do the easy Kilimanjaro safari thing of palm trees. Let's see. I was so upset that there were some things that I just didn't see last time I was at Disney. Like Springbok. Still never, don't have certainty that I've ever seen a Springbok in my life. And I've been to South Africa, so that feels even weirder. But hopefully I'll be seeing those in San Diego in May. Grass. Let me pull out some of my African wetland stuff from a project you guys aren't allowed to see yet. Gosh, that's a lot of pieces. I literally just need Romano's already seen the intro image to this. It's not a big deal. Oh, I can use Nick's palms. There's all this foliage that he made for this project that I have not used yet in anything other than this project. Yes, I totally agree on the California palms. I think this is the perfect time for it. And if they don't, they're insane. Like, if I were to ask for one specific piece of scenery, that would be it. The vibes are so weird with the European music. Hold on. Will look decent right here. I think I gotta take this up though, because it looks really weird with the stuff hanging down when it's up close. When this is far away in our jungle setting, surprise, there's a Congo project upcoming. But in that one, it's so easy because they're further away to just kind of ignore some stuff. But let's see. Did I seriously not group this stuff together? I'm so mad. But yeah, I have found that the eelgrass is so underrated in Planet Zoo. Mix it with some buffalo. It makes for a really good wetlands foliage, especially like African wetlands. Delete that. Dude, I'm sorry about Cedar Lake. It still lives in your hearts. Again, I'm probably going to bring a lot from in there. Ooh, pro tip from Eben. Listen up, y'all. Wisteria upside down, so the leaves get a little different color. Oh. Wisteria. Ooh. That's a duckweed variant I've not seen before. That with just the tiniest bit of periwinkle. Oh, I hadn't even thought of that too. The Yorkshire. Before the buffalo grass, Yorkshire was my best friend. All right. Let's go ahead and move some guys in here because I already got some flamingos possible for this. Oh no, did I sell them? I'm gonna have to purchase 20 flamingos again. Dang it. I just had it. Lesser flamingo. Hi, hot take. Lesser flamingo is a better African flamingo than the greater flamingo. I saw them for the first time 2 years ago at Memphis. And they're so pretty. And then I saw them again at Animal Kingdom, and they're so pretty. Like, why the heck did Frontier give us the least pink flamingo? I'm like this close to commissioning a pinkback pelican because I'm frankly tired of not having an African pelican. Because great white isn't African from what I understand. Let's get some white-faced whistling ducks in here too. Oh, I'm gonna have to do some of the Bro Nation brands in this zoo. Have not downloaded those yet. And maybe try to create some to add to the canon by myself. I love trying to make zoos interconnected, even outside of something like ZSU. So like with Cedar Lake, if I end up doing, I'm sorry, I can't speak. If this zoo ends up having polar bear, it will be the former polar bear of San Bernardino Zoo, because ZSH and I, or ZHS, I can't ever remember, by Elephant Puppet, he said that I could put that in my lore, and I love that. Just like some random lore connecting different places. Okay. not feeling the waterfall actually. Okay. One thing I hate about the flamingos is it feels like every flamingo has an issue with not wanting to stay inside the boundaries. I know I'm an unpopular opinion, but I really hope that if we get a another pack around Christmas time, I actually would prefer a safari kind of animal pack over a walrus. I think that a walrus, if they ever do a sequel, would fit really well with a aquatic theme. I think that having one last bit of African foliage and animals and props now, if they're continuing to do that, would be amazing. My next words, ooh, what's the right answer? Is the right answer, I hope that we're getting a sequel? Because I will say that against my will if I have to. Hey Primal, welcome back. Happy to be here again. Well, you know, just pray that, what's it called, JWE fails, and we might both get our wishes. Alternatively, I would be excited for another, what's it called, like Zookeeper type pack, where it's just a little bit of everything. So if we got walrus, honey badger, secretary bird, tree kangaroo. As an avid JWE player, I want the next game to be good. Don't you have 2 games? Vulture, to answer some of your questions you've had, I'm planning on secretary birds for right now. We'll see. I'm also 100% going to have a Madagascar area. I'm going to have Indri, I'm going to have Shafaka, I'm going to have lemurs. I've got people who are trying to get me to put my Nile crocs there instead of somewhere else, which I could do. Okay. Oh, Fusa. Yeah, sorry. I kind of might have blasted my mic with that. Fusa was on my list. I just didn't think about saying it. I don't know why. And I'm also considering Ringtail Foncira, however you say that. Yeah, I've got a pretty big potential year ahead because I'm planning my San Diego trip and maybe even doing Bronx in July. But after graduation, I will be ordained as a pastor sometime this summer, and so I'm not going to be able to go traveling everywhere anymore because I'll have a real life job. And so I'm trying to get that in while I can. I don't know. I guess to people who are like, oh, I want a JWE 3, it's just like, go play Prehistoric Kingdom if you want something different than what you already have. But question for you then, if you're a JWE player, do you play it because you really like dinosaurs, or do you play it because you really like Jurassic Park? Like, is there a difference in your mind? Really quick, gotta go through, turn off climbing. All right. Let's get to terraforming and try not to cry. Yeah, I'm not a big dinosaur guy either way. I tried playing Prehistoric Kingdom, but ultimately I just didn't want to learn a new style of building. Like, I can tell that there's parts of it that I like maybe objectively more than Planet Zoo, but it's kind of just like, I'm not going to spend hundreds of hours figuring out a game if I already know how to play this one, which is kind of why I stopped playing Planet Coaster 2, which ultimately I think is the reason I kind of lost some steam with Cedar Lake in the first place, is because I went to play Coaster after I got back from Disney. And then I just didn't like Coaster ultimately, which was really unfortunate because I was hoping it would be good. And it may be good in the future still. Okay, so I want there to be a track that goes around for the car that sees just about everything without going into their enclosures. Oh, what am I doing? Should have that track there. Okay, so that will be the main track. Then this will go into the enclosures. So there will be some stuff that you can only get to if you take the Jeep Safari. That is a good take. All animals are valid. I get clowned on by some of my friends sometimes because in my life list where I count all the species I've seen, I count stuff like fish and insects with it, which sometimes is just to boost my numbers. But at the same time, it going around and like searching for every animal I can find, both in captivity and not, has really made me appreciate animals in total so much more. Okay, so over here we'll have the elephants, some impala, some waterbuck, and some zebras. That seems fine to me. Maybe in this first section or so, we'll have the roan antelope, Nyala, Grevy's zebra, lesser kudu, and some giraffes. Do I want all of this stuff? That'll be small eland. Black rhino. I think black rhino will have somewhere over here-ish. Let's see. Giant eland. Where do I want the giant eland? Maybe here. I hope this isn't super boring for you guys. I just had the chance to come on with y'all and thought I'd take it. Let's see. Do we really want giraffes in with the Cape Buffalo? I don't think so. But I think this is a decent group. And I'd like to put them kind of back here. Want some rhinos in the middle, so maybe we'll do... So this safari is just African species. Over here is going to be Asian species. So we'll put the rhino crash and the ankyles over there. Maybe we'll put kind of the lion copy thing in here because I want to have some lions in the safari. Oh, but that's not really. We'll put them there. You there. You over here. Springbok, Bontebok, Marabou, and Rhino. Of the safari, don't think there will be North American. African leopard might make an appearance. Let's see that there. More gazelle and giraffe. Put over here. Eland, Kafua lechwe, Dama gazelle, giraffe. Put them there. Wildebeest, Thompson's gazelle, Nile lechwe, Dama gazelle. This is kind of filler stuff, to be honest. So maybe we'll put them back here. Bongo and Grant's gazelle over here. Addax, Somali ass, Summering's gazelle. put these guys here. What are these? Sitatunga and Saddle-billed stork. That seems like a right here thing. Hey Quentin, I'm working on Safari. WZI reminded me to start the park you've started. That's pretty similar. Cool. Yeah, one of my hopes is that this can be inspiring for people as well as just kind of good for me. We're gonna need to change some elevation. So start up some of this. Thinking about it, the buffalo probably cannot be in the same space as people. So I'm gonna do this. What's up, Eben? What am I doing wrong now? Sweet. I'm gonna guess that it's in Bro Nation custom links by now. Yep, there we go. Bro brand vending cover machine. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me... I have to show you even because I don't know if you saw something I made a while back, but I was pretty proud of these. Hold on. Nope. There we go. Coca-Cola. I know these aren't bro brands, but I really like how these are. And they work really, you've got really good covers. I love this. We'll definitely be using those throughout the zoo. Okay, so kind of make some hills over here too. Might end up not having the lions on the safari just out of safety for all the animals involved. That's cute. I like that. I was also gonna maybe suggest W and W for Wyatt Workshop, and just have it literally the M&M logo but turned upside down. I can't believe he said he's 30% done with Orwell. And that's it. Like, I can, but, ooh, the workshop is a good name. I forgot about that. Like, don't get me wrong. And I'm sorry if you've heard this kind of out of context before from me, but like, I love what you and Wyatt and like Remnant and people like that will do, but that could never be me. I could never put that much detail in. I want my stuff to be detailed, but I do not want to spend that much time. And so I respect you guys for it, but that's just not me. Yeah, I miss Wyatt posts too. I know that he just has simply said before that he doesn't feel like he has enough to see, but like, I don't know, man. In the tinkering, that's fun, and I think that's one of the things that's been really nice about the collabs that I've been doing with like Leaf and Nick and San recently is it makes me more interested in tinkering because I'm not the one doing all of the grunt work. I think one of the things that detracts me from doing too much detail is because like when you're working on your one park, it's just like I just want to show this off. I just want to do stuff with this. Sometimes for me. I feel like I need water in here somewhere. I need to get some of my assets from over here out of this area. Come on, camera, work with me. Delete these. Oh, the live oaks. Yes, I should have these over here to use. All right, see you, Eben. Thanks for joining. It's good to have you. Actually, I think I need to spread this out a bit more too. And I will mark this area out for some viewing, because I think this is a perfect place for some sort of savannah overlook. Trees. What are my thoughts on the next DLC? I'm happy with it. It's not what I wanted, but it's good picks. I do not agree with some of the people who say, oh, it's not a coyote, it's a colpeo. But they're entitled to their opinion, even if it's wrong. I'm excited to get a new primate. I'm excited to get a new flamingo. I'm excited to get the bighorn sheep. Frontier, I know other people disagree, has always done a really good job with their sheep. Let's see. But yeah, I'm excited enough. I'm excited because it's a new pack. I'm excited because there are going to be new pieces. There's a level of it that is just kind of like, I've kind of reserved myself to like, it is what it is situation of just animals are animals, man. Pieces are pieces. I will take what I can get because modders are good. Usually, Frontier does it better. I did say usually. Again, I said earlier in the stream, I hope we're getting American Black Bear just because I want to finish all the bears. Okay, let's get some things in here. What are we listening to? Australian music? We've done that already. Give me conservation. Siamang Shuffle. Love to hear it. Let's see, what are we saying? Nothing new? Okay, that's fine. All right, so I've kind of gone in and charted out how many of each kind of animal I want to make this easier on myself. So let's get 2 giraffes. Have them both be females. 5 roan. I don't know if I'll do a nocturnal house. Probably because I'm imagining that with the platypus I'll have a echidna, but it might just be like that much. Again, this zoo that I'm working on right now has existed 3 days, and I haven't gotten a ton of time to build. So who knows what will be what, but what is this? Nyala? Okay. We'll do one male. Let's do 5 females. The more species are in here, the better it'll look. Well, not more species, but more animals. Lesser kudu, though. We'll do 3. Roadrunner would be cool. I don't think we'll get it, but I'd enjoy having it. We'll have 1 ostrich. We're gonna get rid of this giraffe because I don't like the orange giraffes. Dark brown, red brown. Let's try you. I think we need more kudu. I don't think we're gonna get a burrowing owl. Like, I'd love that too. I don't think we'd get it. The only way I think we'd get burrowing owl is as an exhibit animal, and I don't see them iterating on exhibits and making like non-walk-through but netted ones. I don't see that happening really. Thanks, dude. I don't know. Do I want to put zebras in this part? I think it's already starting to look kind of full. Gonna delete that. Think I need a little bit more dramatic elevation. This in here a little bit more. Sink it underground. Yes, good, cool. Get that out of here. Nyala, please don't do that. Oh, habitat boundary issues. Where? Dang it. Oh, it's facing backward. Whoops. That's a good thing. Thank you. My goal is a mix between Animal Kingdom and San Diego. I don't want it to be too much of one or the other. But I might change my mind after I go to San Diego in 2 months. I'm so excited, you guys. I've never been. It's like the dream. Yeah, so what I was saying was I was saying this like I'm way early on in the stream. But I have about 1,500 animals on my life list. And I did some digging, and between all of the stuff that I could see at San Diego, we're looking at like potentially I might cross 1,000. I mean 2,000. It's possible that in the next few months I'm going to go over 500 species of what I've got right now, which is insane to me. That's how much stuff places like Bronx and San Diego have that nowhere else does. Yeah, the longer that I build this, the more I have like no idea where this is. Thanks, Vulture. All right, I should only be on for another half an hour or so, just to keep you guys posted, because I will have to do some stuff after that. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Someone's putting a bunch of hearts in. Weird voice, yeah. You're lucky I don't do my impressions on stream. The idea. Hit that like and bell button. Hey guys! Gotta get my best Leaf impression. I'm allowed to say that. He's one of my best friends. I love it. Let's see. San Diego Safari Park Zoo Chat. Show me plants. Oof. Yikes. That is sparse. Are you saying the idea of zoo, Banana Leech? I've still yet to copyright that term. Don't think I've even talked much about that in my channel. I think this is giving San Diego. I made 25,000 Among Us habitats. Typical Leap video that hasn't come out yet. Nice. I made Fortnite and Planet Zoo. Oh no. No. Is Leaf really our Mr. Beast? Leaf is better than Mr. Beast. There will be no Leaf slander on my channel. Unless it's from me. And again, it's because he's my friend. I made Fortnite and Planet Zoo. I'm sending this to him. And also beg some of my friends to come and watch. Cigarette Zoo. He didn't make Cigarette Zoo. It's not his fault. You guys don't even know about Fidget Spinner Island. Back in the day, there was a zoo in ZSU that had a place called Fidget Spinner Island, but they didn't even spell it right. And it was literally, it just looked like a fidget spinner, and it was part of their zoo. And it was one of the most like bizarre things I ever saw in there. There were some really funny things that happened in Planets. I mean, in ZSU. Like the people that got banned because all they would do was constantly ping people about like, please send me your animals. And it's just like, dude, calm down. It's a game. Part of the fun is Potato Park Zoo. Oh. Leaf and I were gonna start an Oceanian zoo as a collab because they like had just allowed that to be possible. Or maybe they made an exception for us or something. Anyway, we were making an Oceanian zoo that was a farm run by two old men who we almost got to the part of the story before we got bored, of course, where it would be revealed that like they might have had a hand in their like wives' murder or something. It was just like bizarre garbage like that. There was aliens. Aliens had crashed onto their farm at some point. We had all these things planned and then just never did them. It's not really like don't let Leaf cook or don't let me cook, but like don't let both of us in the kitchen without any like oversight, because we will just make absurdist garbage. LMAO, what is right? Like, when Leaf and I work together, it is almost always bizarre. Isn't that right, Stoppable San? You've worked with both of us at the same time. Well, because you mix stuff like Leaf is just like, I'm gonna just do this weird thing just because. I'm gonna like have Santa's Village and Hope Harbor Zoo or something like that. But then, and he'll be like adding just random stuff. And it's wonderful and we love it. And then I'm over here like, yeah, and then Jack Hawthorne's granddaughter got arrested at SeaWorld for protesting by jumping in the orca pool. Like, Banana Leech, I would probably be upset. I know my local zoo back when I was on my internship was Dickerson Park Zoo, and they had this huge enclosure that was, for the longest time, just for ostrich. And that made me like kind of angry because they didn't have enough like cool stuff to make that worthwhile. I think someplace like the San Diego Zoo, rather than the safari park, I will add, could get away with it in a really good way, because it's just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna stick this into a regular place that like it just could be any animal, and right now it's common ostrich. But I think if it's like you don't have a rhino and you're just gonna put an ostrich in a place, it's just like, what are you doing? See, this is why I don't do buffalo grass, because when you do buffalo grass a little bit, for it to look right, it has to be everywhere. It doesn't really do well with just patches. Okay, Stoppable San brings up a good point. Something just like all on its own that's still an ostrich, but a bit more of a like, oh, it's kind of exciting to have it on its own. I feel like ostriches are just so easy to mix with other stuff, and people really want it, at least the people running the zoo industry seems like they really want to emphasize multi-species habitats. And if you've got the space for a multi-species habitat, why aren't you doing that? Is kind of, I think, the sentiment a lot of the times. Yeah, it's weird because it feels like the more foliage I put into this, the more empty it feels. Like, would you guys agree that this looks better this way? Because I feel like it does look better this way. More just of the regular grass. Banana Leech is out here asking the real questions. Oh, I like this actually. Look at this, guys. You can start to see it from the queue. Bob Ross happy accident style. Oh, I love that. Thank you. We'll let the animals move a little bit, stretch their legs after being stuck on pause for so long. Oh, the live oaks. I should sprinkle a few. I don't know if you guys have seen me use these before, but all these are the frankincense trees smashed together. Roman Opalacius, or however you say his name, on the workshop made these. If you search live oaks, you'll probably find them. But I think they're just wonderful, wonderful trees. Lets you kind of ease up on the palm trees too. Yeah, I think also it's something to be said about our community, that we value bigger ticket stuff a lot more because we have it so much more often. I think absolutely ostriches deserve a little bit more limelight than they usually get. Why are you doing this? All right, let's go ahead and get the second half of this part. Oh, this is the this is the one that they can get to on the cart. Let's do Bontebok. How many Bontebok did I have? 5. We'll see. That's another interesting question, Eddie. Or not, if that is you, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, like I think having a tiger and a gibbon is cool. I'm not sure if I want to go to an Africa themed park and see a binturong and a babirusa. Like I guess it's kind of like if they're gonna put an Asian animal in a park or something like that that's themed to Africa, I would prefer it to not be like in an African area. So if they're like, oh, this is the Zambezi River, don't put like American alligator there, you know? Sika deer and feral sheep. I don't have that big of an issue with that. I mean, the giraffes clearly will take the focus. Let's see. I want to add one of the neat modded gazelles in here. Missouri, Moore, Grants, Ream. Grants? I mean, I prefer them to have elephants, that's for sure. True. Oh, hell yeah. We're doing a park where you get stopped in the road because rhinos won't move. Oh, Asian elephants instead of African called African safari. No, I hate that, actually, a little bit. Hate's a strong word, but I don't like that. Oh, Quentin, you have not seen a hell of a lot of rhinos. I've seen herds in places like the wilds in Ohio with like double this many. I think there is a clear distinction between what Banana Leech is saying and what San is saying. I think that an African looking zoo is different than saying this is an African safari zoo. How much can we see? Aw, okay. Well, thanks for supporting me. Appreciate it. See you later, man. African lion safari has more zones than just Africa, for instance. I mean, there might be a difference just with the fact that it's called African lion safari, where it's just like, if you called it Bengal tiger safari, you could still probably see a giraffe and be like in the clear. No, no worries. You can ask more questions. Let's see. Pop in here. right, well, if you gotta go, we'll see you later, and hope that you've have a decent time with your errands. Oh, I should probably be wrapping up, actually. So, we got the safari potentially mapped out. We got to work on it. So, we'll call that a win. Southeast Asian section of the safari? Maybe. Most of my safari animals are either Indian or North Asian. But yeah, so this is cool. I'm glad to have you guys, and hopefully we'll get to do this again soon. I might be streaming more than recording just because it's easier to just be like, oh, okay, I'll stream today. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys soon. Have a good one.